Welcome back to our live coverage of China's two sessions. President Xi Jinping has highlighted a phrase in relation to China's development. It is new quality productive forces. And during the two sessions, that phrase is set to be enshrined in government policy blueprints for the coming years. New quality productive forces refers to human labor combined with technology and infrastructure. It's a central idea in China for social progress. Xi has described these as, quote, freed from traditional economic growth models. The aim is to achieve high-quality development in China using high-tech and advanced tools. And key to that is investment in innovation and research. So tech innovation is vital for China, but this year's government work report also highlighted the country's achievements in industrial innovation. Among them, the launch of the first homegrown passenger jet, the C919, and the unveiling of large cruise ships. Also, China's dominant new energy vehicle sales, which now account for 60% of global market share. The government is also building up innovation labs, which will focus on artificial intelligence and quantum computing. This all comes as growth in China is increasing. That's partly due to increasing domestic consumer demand for products and services that are attracting international attention. Owen Fairclough explains.
From Xiaomi's new artificial intelligence-driven phone unveiled at the Mobile World Congress,
designed to connect personal devices, cars, and smart home products,
to the C919 passenger jet making its international flight debut at the Singapore Air Show and racking up more orders.
This is the first time we will be having exhibitors from China.
Chinese innovation is on the world stage as it competes for technological supremacy over established Western rivals. And much of the consumer demand is being driven inside China, according to the country's civil aviation authorities.
In 2024, major targets of the entire civil aviation industry, such as the total transportation turnover, passenger trips, and cargo and mail transportation volume, are all expected to exceed pre-epidemic levels. The passenger trips are expected to register double-digit growth year on year.
But there are economic challenges, particularly in the real estate industry, adjusting to China becoming a country with one of the world's highest rates of property ownership. Reforms include making home ownership more affordable and creating a unified national real estate market. And having beaten growth forecasts in 2024, the International Monetary Fund has revised Chinese growth up to 4.6%, though some provinces have set targets of 8%. Owen Fairclough, CGTN, Washington.
And for more on the role artificial intelligence and innovation are playing at China's two sessions, let's welcome back John Quelch and Yukon Huang. Gentlemen, thank you. Yukon, let me start with you. What were your key takeaways when it comes to the report's blueprint for innovation and AI over the course of the coming year? What's the message it sends the rest of the world?
Well, I think AI is a very good example. Its potential education, industry, and commercial activities, knowledge base, research, enormous. China is a global leader in AI. It has strength because it makes use of data. It puts a lot of money into R&D. It's actually way ahead of the West in certain aspects of regulation. It's been very active in trying to guide AI in the right direction and to avoid security concerns or fake AI and some of the dangers which everyone is actually coping with. So I think there's a lot of exchange of knowledge that China could actually share with the West. And I see tremendous potential in AI activities for the future.
And John, let me ask you, China wants to rely less on foreign technology and opting for a whole nation approach. We're seeing preliminary signs of that right now with foreign firms like Apple and Tesla. Their share prices dropping because of that. Do you think we see more of that trend over the next 12 months?
I think that the size of the China market means that in the long run, multinational companies such as those you mentioned really have no option but to continue to be present in China, both marketing in China and manufacturing in China. One thing I would add to the comment regarding AI is that China has learned and is learning how to engage the university research sector with industry. in the same way as that is occurring in the United States. And this synergy between university research labs and industry is extremely important to fueling successful basic and applied research that translates into commercially viable innovation. All in all, I think China has become a much more innovative economy than it was 10 years ago. There used to be concern that China was very good at imitating but not very good at innovating, and now I think no one suggests that that is the case anymore. China is a major innovator in the world economy.
Indeed. And Yukon, let me ask you, the report says Beijing will focus very heavily on developing emerging industries, including quantum computing and chips. What projects or partnerships can we expect to see to drive China's innovation and their AI goals forward in key areas? Already, our partner here, John, has talked about synergy between universities.
Well, there's obviously the domestic connection between companies, state financing, and research institutions. It's working very well in China. China's making some major breakthroughs in a wide range of areas, not only in AI and electric vehicles, solar power, but even in pharmaceuticals and medicines. They come forward in the last year with some path-breaking new approaches that's going to basically help the world in terms of cancer research and drugs. So there's a number of activities which I think you're seeing for the first time that China is as competitive as anyone in the world. If you go back 10 years ago and you look at rankings, China was ranked something like number 40 globally in terms of its innovation capacity. It's moved all the way up to about number 10 now. So there's a lot of progress being made. Now, the big issue in the future is innovation, knowledge transfer requires collaboration. You don't work in isolation. So one of the things I do worry about is whether or not the kind of tensions, the global tensions, will restrict research and knowledge exchanges between Chinese scientists, European scientists, and US scientists. If so, that would actually be bad for everyone, because the exchange of information across countries that basically helps countries develop.
Yeah, and to that point, John, the U.S. isn't making it easy for China to obtain advanced semiconductor chips. We saw just now the U.S. has blocked AMD, a large chip maker, the ability to sell a chip it's specifically designed for the China market, saying it's still too powerful. So how vital is it for China to develop its own smarter chips? And is what the U.S. is doing harmful to innovation overall?
I think this approach is stimulating China to accelerate its drive towards self-sufficiency in areas where there are restrictions in terms of imports coming in from the U.S. or other countries. So in the long run, that restriction is going to be beneficial to China. And China is going to become an innovator beyond where it is already in chip manufacturing and chip production. So I think that it's a two-edged sword. When you engage in these kind of short-term restrictions, you end up stimulating a longer-term determination to be self-sufficient.
AI is certainly the future, and the future is here. John Quelch and Yukon Huang, thank you again so much.